Hello and welcome to History Soaps You Name It, the channel where I do a deep dive into your favourite topics, mainly historical with a royal focus as that is my speciality. But if you have any requests, please let me know in the comments section below, and if you enjoy these videos, please give a like and subscribe. Before I get started, I'd like to apologise for any mispronunciations, and without any further ado, let's get on to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the life and legacy of Elisa Bonaparte. Maria Anna Elisa Bonaparte Bacciochi-Levoy, or in French, Marie-Anne Elisa Bonaparte, 3rd of January 1777 to the 7th of August 1820, more widely recognised as Elisa Bonaparte, was a significant figure in the history of the French Empire, serving as an imperial princess and the sister of Napoleon Bonaparte. Throughout her life, she held several important titles. She was the Princess of Lucca and Piombino from 1805 until 1814, the Grand Duchess of Tuscany from 1809 to 1814, and was appointed Countess of Compignano by her brother, enhancing her political influence within these regions. Born in Corsica to Carlo Bonaparte and Letizia Ramolino, Elisa was the fourth surviving child and the eldest daughter in a family that would shape European history. Her family included two elder brothers, Joseph and Lucien, as well as younger siblings Louis, Pauline, Caroline and Jerome. This prominent lineage contributed to a unique position within the Napoleonic dynasty. Elisa Bonaparte was particularly notable for being the only sister of Napoleon to attain substantial political authority. As Princess of Lucca and Piombino, and later as Grand Duchess of Tuscany, she managed her territories with a focus on both administrative reforms and cultural enrichment. Despite occasionally strained relations with her brother, often attributed to her forthright and assertive personality, Elisa was an influential figure in her own right. Her passion for the arts, especially theatre, was evident in her efforts to promote cultural initiatives within her domains. She actively endorsed artistic projects, fostered support for local artists, and encouraged the establishment of theatres, thereby contributing to the cultural landscape of the region she governed. Through her efforts, Elisa Bonaparte left a lasting legacy, both in the political arena and in the cultural life of Tuscany and the surrounding areas during a transformative period in European history. Elisa was born in Ajaccio, Corsica, and originally named Maria Anna. She later adopted the nickname Elisa, given to her by her older brother Lucien Bonaparte, with whom she shared a close bond. In June 1784, she received a bursary that allowed her to attend the prestigious Maison Royale de Saint-Louis in Saint-Cyr, where she received an education and was frequently visited by her brother Napoleon. The outbreak of the French Revolution led to the closure of the Maison Royale de Saint-Louis on August 16, 1792, as part of efforts to dismantle aristocratic institutions. As a result, Elisa left on September 1, 1792, returning to Ajaccio with her brother. By approximately 1795, the Bonaparte family relocated to Marseille, where Elisa met Felice Pasquale Bacciochi, a Corsican nobleman who later adopted the surname Levoy. He had previously served as a captain in the royal corps, but was dismissed due to the political turmoil of the revolution. Their meeting marked the beginning of an important chapter in Elisa's life, shaping her future within the shifting political landscape of France. Domestic life. Elisa Bacciochi entered into matrimony with Levoy Bacciochi in a civil ceremony conducted in Marseille on May 1, 1797. This union was subsequently followed by a religious ceremony in Montbello, a location notable for its association with Napoleon, who had established residence there with his family in June of the same year. Initially, Napoleon harboured reservations about Bacciochi due to concerns regarding his reputation as a military leader, specifically citing his perceived inadequacies and the potential impact on the Bonaparte family's standing. It is noteworthy that the religious ceremony coincided with the wedding of her sister Pauline, who was marrying General Victor Emmanuel Leclerc, highlighting a period of significant familial alignment. In July 1797, Levoy Baciocchi received a promotion to the rank of chef de bataillon, a position of increasing responsibility that included command over the citadel at Ajaccio. This advancement reflected both his personal ambition and his aspirations to enhance his reputation. By 1799, the extended Bonaparte family made the strategic decision to relocate to Paris, a hub of political and cultural activity in France. Elisa established her residence at 125 Rue de Miromesnil, situated in the Quartier du Roule, where she encouraged cultural engagement through the hosting of receptions and the production of theatrical performances. During the rise of the consulate, Elisa and her brother Lucien organised an influential artistic and literary saloon at the Hôtel de Brissac. This venue became a notable gathering place for intellectuals, artists and influential figures of the time, affording Elisa the opportunity to forge a deep friendship with the journalist Louis de Fontaine. Their relationship lasted several years and was marked by shared interests in literature and politics. Following the demise of Lucien's first wife, Christine Boyer, on May 14, 1800, Elisa took on the responsibility of guardianship for Lucien's two daughters. She made the educational decision to enrol the eldest daughter, Charlotte, in Madame Campin's prestigious boarding school for young women, located in Saint-Germain-en-Laye, emphasising her commitment to the education and well-being of her family. By early November 1800, Lucien was reassigned from his influential role as Minister of the Interior to become the French ambassador to the court of the King of Spain, which underscored both his political significance and the trust placed in him by Napoleon. Elisa's husband, Felix Baciocchi, accompanied Lucien as his secretary, allowing for continued collaboration between family members in the realm of public service. While Elisa remained in Paris, she maintained a regular and meaningful correspondence with Lucien, providing mutual support during their respective endeavours. The political landscape shifted substantially on May 18, 1804, when the French Senate voted to establish the First French Empire. This pivotal decision resulted in Elisa, along with her sisters, being formally recognised as members of the imperial family, thus adopting the honoured designation of Imperial Highness, or Altesse Impériale. Furthermore, Felice Baciocchi's promotion to the rank of Brigadier General and his subsequent appointment as a senator further solidified the Baciocchi's family influence within the newly structured imperial framework, reflecting both personal achievement and the broader ambitions of the Bonaparte family in shaping the future of France. Political career. Elisa's separation from her husband in 1805 was perceived favourably by Napoleon Bonaparte, the ruler of France, who saw her potential as a political ally. Following her promotion to the Principality of Lucca, Napoleon reinstated her husband in her life, indicating the importance of strategic alliances. On March 19, 1805, Napoleon formally conferred upon her the title of Princess of Piombino, an area that had been under French control for several years. This region was strategically significant due to its location near Elba and Corsica, making it valuable for naval and military operations. Elisa and her husband Felix accepted the titles of Prince and Princess of Piombino, solidifying their positions within the new political landscape. In June 1805, following the restructuring of political territories, the oligarch Republic of Lucca, which had been occupied by French forces since late 1799, was officially transformed into a principality. This incorporation into Elisa and Felix's domain was marked by a formal investiture ceremony that took place on July 14, 1805. Despite Napoleon's dismissive reference to Lucca as the Dwarf Republic due to its modest geographical size, the region was a significant centre of political, religious and commercial autonomy. Within this framework, power in Lucca and Piombino was predominantly exercised by Elisa, who took an active role in governance, while Felix assumed a more limited position focused primarily on military matters. The residents of Lucca, grappling with the loss of their independence under French rule, referred to Elisa with a touch of irony as La Madame, and exhibited a general discontent with both Napoleon and Elisa, as well as with their attempts to reshape Lucca according to French ideals. Demonstrating a commitment to effective governance, Elisa maintained a close circle of ministers who played integral roles in the administration of her territories. Key officials included Luigi Matteucci, serving as Minister of Justice, Francesco Belluomini, who held the position of Minister of the Interior and Foreign Affairs, later succeeded by his son Giuseppe in October 1807, and Jean-Baptiste Froussard, along with Pierre de Hormenil, who served as finance ministers. Elisa further established a court and court etiquette inspired by the Tuileries Palace in Paris, emphasising her dedication to maintaining the social and ceremonial standards expected of a principality. On March 31st, 1806, in a move that further expanded Elisa's territories, Napoleon withdrew the territories of Massa and Carrara from the Kingdom of Italy, bestowing them upon Elisa. Carrara was especially valuable as one of Europe's premier suppliers of high-quality white marble. Recognising the potential for economic growth, Elisa sought to elevate her status and the prestige of the region by founding the Académie des Beaux-Arts. This institution aimed to attract talented sculptors, thereby positioning Carrara as a key exporter of marble sculptures, which commanded higher prices than raw marble. Simultaneously, she established the Banque Elisienne to provide financial support to sculptors and workers affected by marble taxation, illustrating her proactive approach to economic development. Beginning in May 1806, Elisa undertook significant reforms within the clergy of Lucca and Piombino, which involved nationalising church properties, assets and lands. She closed convents that did not also operate as educational institutions or hotels, effectively repurposing their resources. In her legislative agenda, she enacted several reforms in Lucca, introducing laws modelled after the Code Napoleon. Among these was the Codice Rural del Principato di Piombino, issued on March 24, 1808, which sought to modernise agricultural practices and land ownership. Additionally, a new penal code, promulgated in 1807, reflected contemporary legal principles and was subsequently revised in 1810. In a humanitarian endeavour, Elisa established the Committee of Public Charity in 1807 to oversee the distribution of charitable funds. This committee included both clergy and community members, reflecting her intention to incorporate diverse voices into governance. She also initiated programmes for free medical consultations aimed at the impoverished population to combat widespread diseases, which had become a significant public health issue. To enhance healthcare services, she replaced the old hospital in Piombino with a new facility located within the former monastery of St. Anastasia, which opened its doors to patients in 1810. Furthermore, she created the Casa Sanitaria, a dispensary situated in the town's port, aimed at providing accessible medical care. On May 5, 1807, Elisa announced the formation of the Committee for the Encouragement of Agriculture, Arts and Commerce, with the specific objective of promoting innovation and new agricultural techniques throughout the territory. Noteworthy initiatives included experimental plantations, such as those producing mulberries in Massa, where the École Normale de la Soie, or Silk School, was established on August 16, 1808. This institution aimed to educate individuals in silk production, thereby contributing to local economic diversification. In the sphere of education, Elisa dedicated herself to establishing numerous educational institutions across Lucca. She initiated the creation of the Direction Générale de l'Instruction Publique, or General Department of Public Education, in 1809 to oversee educational reform. On December 1st, 1807, she founded the Collège Félix, which became the only secondary school for boys in the Principality. For girls, she initially mandated standardised curricula for convents serving as schools, and subsequently established a supervisory body known as the Dame d'Inspection to ensure adherence to educational standards. Although laws requiring compulsory education for girls aged 5 to 8 were enacted, the implementation of these regulations was inconsistent across the region. On July 2nd, 1807, Elisa established the Institut Elisa within an adapted convent, designed to prepare noble-born girls for their future roles as educated and cultured wives. In recognition of the needs of impoverished communities, she also founded the Congregation San Felice on July 29, 1812, aimed at supporting young girls from underprivileged backgrounds. However, this establishment did not survive long after her eventual political decline. In parallel with Napoleon's initiatives, Elisa initiated extensive urban development projects throughout her territories, primarily aimed at expanding the princely palaces. These improvements, however, were met with significant opposition, particularly in Lucca, where the expansion necessitated the demolition of the church of San Pietro in March 1807. The renovation efforts also included the demolition of an entire city block in Lucca to construct a piazza designed in the French style, located in front of her residence, which now serves as the provincial seat and prefecture. This block included the church of San Paolo, which housed the revered image of the Madonna dei Miracoli, resulting in a substantial loss to the city's medieval architectural heritage and inciting public unrest. In Massa, Elisa similarly ordered the demolition of a cathedral to advance her urban development projects, aiming to reshape the physical landscape of her territories in accordance with her vision for a modern principality. These extensive initiatives reflect Elisa's ambition to establish a legacy of cultural and economic dynamism within her realm, aligning with the broader ambitions of the Napoleonic Empire. On the 21st of March 1801, Lucien Bonaparte, representing France, and the King of Spain entered into a significant agreement known as the Third Treaty of San Ildefonso. This pivotal treaty facilitated the restoration of the territory of Louisiana to France, and concurrently led to the establishment of the Kingdom of Etruria, achieved by the division of the region known as Tuscany. The newly formed kingdom was initially governed by Infanta Maria Louisa, who was married to Louis of Etruria. However, Louis quickly demonstrated ineffective leadership qualities, which ultimately resulted in his premature death in 1803. The situation evolved on the 29th of October 1807, when Napoleon Bonaparte signed the Treaty of Fontainebleau with the Spanish court. This treaty was crucial as it formally transferred the administration of Tuscany from Spanish control back to France. Following this transfer, Marie-Louise, a key figure in the political landscape, departed from the kingdom in November of the same year. From the 12th of May 1808 onward, Tuscany was placed under the administration of an interim governor named Abdallah Jacques Manu. Manu was a French soldier who had notably converted to Islam during the Napoleonic campaign in Egypt. His governance, however, was marked by a lack of engagement and understanding of local issues, leading to an ineffective administration that prompted Napoleon to recall him on the 5th of April 1809. Elisa Bonaparte, Napoleon's sister, expressed a strong desire to serve as the governess of Tuscany in 1808. Nevertheless, her ambitions were thwarted when she contracted a serious illness late in that year, which inhibited her involvement in state matters. Following her recovery in February 1809, a significant decree was enacted between the 2nd and 3rd of March 1809. This decree established the Grand Duchy of Tuscany, designated Florence as its capital, and appointed Elisa as the Grand Duchess. However, the stipulations of the decree mandated that Elisa enforce the decisions issued by Napoleon and his ministers, thus significantly curtailing her ability to modify or influence these directives. This limitation was a stark departure from the relative autonomy she had previously enjoyed while serving in Lucca and Piombino, causing her to navigate a complex political landscape with constrained power. The decree further elevated Felix to the rank of General de Division, thereby affirming the Bonaparte family's influence within the new governance structure. Elisa represented a unique case in Napoleon's governance, as she was the only woman granted substantial political responsibilities. Napoleon generally harboured reservations regarding politically active women, having only appointed his second wife to a nominal regent position during his absences. Therefore, Elisa's appointment as Grand Duchess was a notable exception, indicative of her exceptional qualities. Napoleon was known to admire her attributes, remarking, "My sister Elisa possesses a masculine mind, a forceful character, noble qualities, and outstanding intelligence. She will endure adversity with fortitude." Upon her arrival in Florence on the 2nd of April 1809, Elisa was met with a lukewarm reception from the local nobility, who were less than enthusiastic about her governance. This period of her administration coincided with significant civil unrest, specifically a revolt against mandatory conscription that culminated in the assassination of a mayor and a judge. The contentious issue of conscription, coupled with the imposition of numerous new taxes by Napoleon on the Tuscans, served as significant sources of conflict, contributing to the prevailing discontent among the populace. In her governance, she attempted to replicate her earlier actions in Lucca by nationalising the goods of the clergy and closing several convents in a bid to consolidate her power and resources. In addition to her political initiatives, Elisa demonstrated a commitment to the promotion of arts and sciences during her governance. In 1809, she commissioned renowned sculptor Lorenzo Bartolini to create a series of busts representing her immediate family, enhancing the cultural heritage of the region. Furthermore, the first 2 volumes of the Annali del Museo Imperial de Fisica e Storia Naturale were dedicated to her in 1808 and 1809, marking her influential role in supporting scholarly pursuits. Notably, the observatory affiliated with this Museum of Physics and Natural History ultimately served as the precursor to Florence's contemporary Osservatorio Astrofisico di Acertri, thus linking her legacy to enduring contributions to science. Elisa's involvement took an unintended turn when she found herself entangled in Napoleon's efforts to remove Pope Pius VII. The Pope vocally opposed the Empire's annexation of the Papal States and adamantly refused to lift or renounce his temporal powers. In a bold move, he excommunicated Napoleon through the bull Cum Memoranda on the 10th of June 1809. In reaction to this defiance, Napoleon appointed General Etienne Radet to orchestrate the Pope's removal, thereby eliminating a significant political adversary who could potentially rally opposition against the Empire. The operation to remove the Pope was executed on the night of the 6th of July 1809, resulting in Pius being escorted towards Savona. Although the Pope passed near Florence, Elisa refrained from welcoming him in person, requesting that he leave the region promptly to mitigate any perception of favouring her brother's adversary. As time progressed, the dynamics of Elisa's relationship with Napoleon became increasingly fraught. He frequently summoned her to remedy various irregularities in her administration of Tuscany, reflecting a growing dissatisfaction with her governance. On the 17th of March 1810, Elisa travelled to Paris to attend Napoleon's marriage to Marie-Louise of Austria. However, during her visit, Napoleon seized the opportunity to reclaim outstanding payments associated with his grants of Massa and Carrara. Upon her return to Tuscany, Elisa was confronted with ongoing demands from Napoleon's envoys for these payments, despite her initial reluctance to comply. She firmly rejected the request for a second payment, arguing that the territories lacked the necessary resources to meet Napoleon's substantial demand of 200,000 lire. In a show of aggression, Napoleon threatened to confiscate Carrara from Elisa and insisted that Lucca implement conscription measures. Notably, Lucca had previously been exempted from such obligations until May 1811, and these escalating demands served to undermine Elisa's support within the region. Ultimately, Elisa returned to Lucca from Florence, where she undertook the restoration of a villa that is now known as the Villa Reale di Maglia. Despite her efforts, she encountered a chilly reception from the local community, illustrating the complexities and challenges of her governance during this tumultuous period. Descendants. On May 1st, 1797, she married Felice Pasquale Baciocchi, a distinguished member of Corsican nobility. Following their nuptials, several titles were conferred on him, including Prince Francais, Duke of Lucca, as well as Prince of Piombino and Prince of Massa Carrara and La Garfagnana. This marriage represented a strategic alliance between Corsican nobility and influential titles in Italy during a period marked by political transformation. The couple had 5 children whose lives were shaped by both familial expectations and the socio-political context of their time. Felix Napoleon Baciocchi, 1798-1799. Their first child, Felix, died tragically in infancy, marking a sorrowful beginning for the family. Napoleon Baciocchi, 1803. Their second son, Napoleon, similarly passed away shortly after birth, highlighting the high infant mortality rates prevalent during this era. Elisa Napoleon Baciocchi, 1806-1869. Their only daughter, Elisa, later married Philippe, Comte Camerata Passione de Mazzoleni, 1805-1882. This union produced one son, Charles Felix Jean-Baptiste Camerata Passione di Mazzoleni, 1826-1853, who unfortunately also experienced a premature death. Jerome Charles Baciocchi, 1810-1811. The fourth child, Jerome, died in infancy, contributing further to the family's grief. Frédéric Napoleon Baciocchi, 1813-1833. Their youngest son, Frédéric, although living until the age of 20, succumbed to early mortality as well, augmenting the family's sense of loss. The Baciocchi family endured considerable personal tragedies, reflective of the challenges faced in that historical period. Despite these hardships, their lineage and contributions to noble heritage continued through Elisa's marriage and subsequent descendants. That's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed, and please do give a like and subscribe. See you next time.